questions virtually at the end. Coach, when you're ready, take it away.
All right, fun day in the Valley. Proud of our team. Always a special day with military appreciation and all that, and then senior day, and especially when you get a chance to play. I think we got every senior in there, I believe. It's always fun to be able to finish your season, at home, being able to play everyone. That was a blessing that it worked out that way. And just happy for our fans, to be able to finish up the season, a couple wins in a row. We've had 1-3 in a row. We're playing our best football, down the stretch here, which is good to see. And it's fun to watch and fun to see the growth. I appreciate our fans. This is This is my 23rd home season coming to an end today. So 23 years of battling out there in the Valley in a lot of games, and I'm just grateful for all of it. The big wins, the painful moments. I'm grateful for all of it because it really is just a special place to do something that you love to do. Play, coach, whatever it is. And I never forget my first game here in 2003 against Georgia, walking from the McFadden building over here. I had no idea what to expect, and man, it just never gets old, and I'm just thankful. And again, it goes fast. Hard for me to kind of wrap my mind around that. So again, Valley will be closed for a while, and we'll get back out there sometime this spring and all that. But I just appreciate our fans because they've shown up all year for us and given us an amazing environment. And then I'm thankful for our seniors. These guys. The purpose of our program, graduation, equipping yourself as a man, having a great experience and winning a championship, they've done all that. They've done it all. And then our goals that we have, they've achieved every goal on our board at some point or another. They didn't do them all at one time, because if they do that, we win the national championship. But they've hit every goal at one point. So I'm just proud of them, but most of all, the thing I'm most proud of this senior group is how they've led this year. Because they've done a lot of stuff in their careers, but how they've led this year, I always say it's easy to be all in when everything's great. But who are you when it don't go great? Who are you when you think you're doing everything right and you're not getting the results? Who are you then? And, man, these guys have been amazing. They've been resilient. They have stayed together. In fact, they've gotten stronger, and they've really, truly fought for each other and fought for this place. And I'm just thankful for them. They've been an amazing example. They've been an inspiration to me, and they've been an inspiration to their teammates. And I'm forever grateful for how they've led this year. And then Joey Batson, his 29 years being our strength coach, and his last home game, was a special moment to be able to honor him. But a lot of good things in the game. Again, got to play a ton of guys. I don't know what the actual number was. I think we played most everybody. There couldn't have been many. So we'll get the actual number. But balanced day, 200, and again, got to play a lot of guys. Cade, I think he's the 6th quarterback to have 25 wins, and 9 of 15, 2 touchdowns. CV, 9 of 15, a touchdown. He also averaged 5.3 a carry. It was 17 different receivers, I think 6 different tight ends maybe, a couple tight ends with touchdowns. Was great. Antonio Williams, how about that guy? A couple touchdowns on senior day. I think he was close to 100 all-purpose, had big punt return. Tied Mike Williams for career touchdowns, 4th all-time. And then, Gid and Eazy-E, they had big averages per carry. Gid was 7.4, Eazy-E was 5.7. Tyler Brown had a big touchdown run on the reverse. Good to see that. So a lot of good things. And then to be able to, we had a pretty good plan going in on how we wanted to manage the quarterbacks. So to be able for it to work out, the way we wanted it to work out, and really get Denson some significant time was awesome. And I just thought he was. That's what he does in practice. That's what we've seen. He showed up really raw, but he's developing, and he's had a great spring and summer. And again, there's been a lot of growth you don't see but it's going to pay dividends. I'm really proud of him. And, 17.7 yards per carry. I think they told me that's the most since 1947 by a quarterback. And 6 carries, 106 yards. And our first quarterback to have over 100-yard rushing since Trevor in 2019. And he was 4 for 4 and had a nice touchdown pass on an RPO there to Logan Brooking. Man, that was awesome. And so, again, got a chance to get everybody some playing time. And, but really excited for him as a guy that he and Logan, 2 red shirts, that were able to get out there and play a little bit. I think that might have been Logan's second game as well to play. So good things there. And then had a good punt return. Got Juju in there. Juju, his first college play, I think was a 10-yard return. He's going to be a fun player. He's a guy we kind of got our arms around a little bit, and we're kind of getting him where we need to go. But I think he's going to turn out and be an exciting player. Jack Smith, 48 and a half. Hooser had 11 in a row, and then we had a miss there at the end. So a lot of good things. And defensively, I think they only popped one good run. That was on the option. 66 yards rushing, 5 of 20 on 3rd and 4th down, a couple sacks, won the margin, 2 turnovers was big for us. And I thought Sammy Brown was just awesome. I mean, he is just blossoming into what we all felt like he could become throughout his career. Had a really good freshman year, and he's just kind of built on that this year, and more to come. So really proud of him. And, again, defensively, especially in that first half, I just thought we did an awesome job. And then we got to play a lot of guys. And sometimes it can be frustrating on defense because, they it's points. You don't just get to punt. It's yards, it's points and all that. But we just need to play some of those guys. And some of them got exposed a little bit, but that's how they get better. They got to go play, give us a chance to coach them and teach them and hold them accountable to what we're trying to do from a standard standpoint. So a lot of great things in the game. And, just, again, proud of their efforts. So now we'll look forward to a great week of prep, enjoy this one tonight. And, we got a big one next week. But we're bowl eligible. It's a big deal. Tim Beret told me that he said 130 years, there's been 30 teams at Clemson start 1-3. And I think we're only the 4th team to rally back and get to the postseason. It's, not what we were, shooting for coming into the season, but you got to respond to where you are. And so to see them to respond that way and do something, like that is awesome. And we just got to see if we can keep building momentum.
Coach, you had to see Lawson go down with Palmetto Bowl coming up. Anything on him?
No, I think it's just a sprained ankle. So we'll just have to see, where he is day to day. The big one is Olsen. So he's going to be out. He's going to have surgery. I think they said he has a patella tendon. I believe that was what you got to get the MRI, but they felt pretty confident that's what it was. So not an ACL or that, but it's still, you got to go in there and fix it. Hate that. But, he'll be, it's the same thing that Kobe had to have. I think Kobe had the same thing last year, McLeod, and he's doing great. He's great. And Olsen will bounce back too, but just hate that's a loss for us there. So, again, it's, Josh Sapp and Benny got to step up, and Logan and Chef, those guys have to step up for us and get it done.
2 starters in the offensive line today. Just what were your thoughts on the performance of that first unit?
They did good. They did good. I thought, they did some unique pressure stuff, especially in their all-up package. Brought some corner blitzes and a couple of different pressures. They communicated well. Did a nice job. Cade had the one horrible. I guess it goes down as a sack. He's a grounding, right? So then that go down as a sack. That should have never happened. He held the ball for like 10 seconds. Had plenty of time to get rid of the ball there. But, I guess that goes on the OL. But they did a nice job. Did a good job with the opportunity they had.
Amare Adams was unavailable. What's his injury status?
Yeah, he's going to be out for the year, unfortunately. He got hurt in practice on, when was that? Was that Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday. was Tuesday or Wednesday, I can't remember, but ankle. And so he's going to have a tightrope. You know, again, he'll be fine, but he's going to be out.
And with Lawson, he was in the start of the third quarter. It was mostly backups. Is that a time where, you know, in hindsight, you wish he wasn't in? Or?
Yeah, I wish he wasn't having. It was a package. I thought we had everybody out, honestly, but that's a package where he's inside, and you know, honestly, I didn't see it. That's on me. That's 100%. I should have, you know, we shouldn't have been in there, but if I'd have really seen it, I should have called timeout and got him out of the game. But hey, it's a package, and he was kind of the only guy we had for that. But you know, that's football. I mean, those things can happen.
Is it somewhat disappointing to still have the first team defense in there in the fourth quarter at one point?
No, that's just, you know, I mean, you got a bunch of backups, and yeah, you'd like to see him go in there and just shut them down, but you got a lot of guys that hadn't played much, and 31-10, we're like, hey, we need to get the ball back right here, and we need to go and get a stop. So I think it's good to see those guys be able to go in there and get the stop, but it's also great to be able to challenge and teach your backups, you know, of where they are and what they got to do to get better. And some of them do great, but collectively as a group, you know, we were a little disappointed with a couple of the things. But hey, I mean, they score right there. You're in a dogfight, so we need to stop them, and they did. It was good.
Had they scored, would you put?
Absolutely, we'd put everybody back in there. Absolutely. I mean, all of a sudden you get in a little tighter game, but you know, again, I know that can get a little uncomfortable time, but they need to play. Like, guys need to play. There's never a point where we felt like we didn't have control of the game, but you got to coach guys, and guys need to go play. They're going to make mistakes when you play 100 and something guys. You're gonna have some things, but it's good for us to be able to teach. It's good for the development of the team, and you know, be able to coach them off of tape instead of them being in the room and just watching somebody else get coached and learning. They can actually see themselves. So that's a plus for us.
Coach, you mentioned a race stat, just 4 teams with a bouncing back from a rough start to a bowl win, or at least to a winning season. This has been a hill and valley, definitely kind of season. How's it feel to win the last 3 games, the last 2 at home, the big road win on the road at Louisville? And how does it feel for the team as a whole, knowing that they have a chance to join that group, to have another great finish like a couple years ago with the Gator Bowl?
Yeah.
And how does it feel? What does that say about this team from senior to freshman?
Yeah, I mean, we've won 3 in a row. We're creating some momentum. It's fun. You know, celebration leads to replication, right? I mean, it's like, you know, it's fun to celebrate, and, you know, good to see them be able to replicate that a couple weeks in a row here. So they've got some momentum. We're playing our best football right now, you know, and so it's been fun to watch them grow. It's been fun to watch them battle. We've had all kind of different challenges along the way, and another offensive line in there today. You know, a lot of guys have you know, been out, losing Braden last week. Now we're losing Olsen, lost Amare. I mean, that's football. But they just keep going. You know, we'll see where Jaheim is. Hopefully he'll be back this week. But you know, we'll see where he gets throughout the week. But I'm proud of him. I mean, it's been great. I mean, that's all you can do is, I mean, they've had some heartbreak losses, you know, down to the last play, and you know, but how do you respond? That's all you can do. And they've responded, you know, in a courageous way, and they've stayed together. They've blocked out all the noise, and they've just kept working.
Coach, with the injury to Olsen Pat Henry, have you thought about who's going to start at tight end next week, and will there be a possibility to see increased utilization of Logan Brooking?
No, it'd be Bentoncourt and Sapp. That's our starters. I mean, be those guys. And yeah, definitely Logan. He's now our 3rd guy. So, and then Chef, and then Banks Pope. That's who we got. We got Charlie Johnson, who can get in there and know what to do as well. But Sapp and Benny will be our starters in our 12 personnel. But that's why we held Logan, you know, all year. You know, just didn't want to not waste, but we had plenty of depth there, and you know, he needed to learn and grow and develop and get some power hour, but he's ready to play. And he's a tough physical kid. He had a dumb penalty today. I think he hit him right in the back, or got a blind side. But he's a full-speed kid. And, yeah, we got to have him ready. So, but Sapp and Benny they'll have to step up for us.
The timeout before Cade's standing ovation in the second quarter, I guess, was that planned, and just what was your thoughts on just the ovation that Cade received during that time?
Yeah, it wasn't planned. It was just in the moment. You know, we went into the game with a plan of what we wanted to do from a quarterback standpoint on kind of how, you know, we wanted to play those guys and win. And then if everything goes well, you know, really wanted to be able to get Denson the majority of the fourth quarter. Wanted to get Trent in there into the third quarter. So it kind of, that all worked out well, but that was just kind of in the moment as far as, hey, let's call timeout and let's get number 2 out of there. I mean, he's been a warrior for us. I mean, he really has, and it was a cool moment for him.
Is his quad still bothering him a little bit? He came up low again after that grounding.
Yeah, I mean, he's not 100%, but if he was 60% 2 weeks ago, he's, you know, much better than that. Not quite 100, but he's getting better every week. But definitely still a problem.
We saw Cade get really excited for Chris whenever he scored. What can you say about Cade's leadership and just how he's mentoring all the younger quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean, Cade's all in all the time. I mean, he just doesn't flinch. I mean, he's a leader, takes ownership. He sets a great example in everything he does. This kid, he's in the building all the time. He's in the prehab area all the time. I mean, he's played through a lot of pain. He's gritty. He's tough. His example is, you can't quantify it. What he's shown these young guys and how he prepares, how he practices is the same guy every day. He's not a guy that's up and down from an energy standpoint. He is on all the time. When we step on the practice field, you get the best of Cade Klubnik every single day. And you can't ask for a better example than that for all these other young guys. I'm really proud of it.
It's a pretty star-studded senior class. What are you going to remember most about this group, and what makes this class special in particular?
Yeah, I mean, what I remember most is what I said earlier. I mean, again, you know, they've all achieved the purpose. They're graduates. They've equipped themselves as men. They've all had a great experience. We got 6-year guys, 5-year guys, 4-year guys. I mean, they've all stayed here because they've had a great experience, and then they've all won a championship. So that's the purpose of this program. They've achieved it. They've hit every goal. I mean, they have. So that's all great. But, again, what I'm most proud about them is how they led this year. With high expectations, disappointment, a lot of negativity and noise around our program, they never let that stuff in our building. They never let it on the practice field. They never let it in the meeting rooms. And that's what I'm most proud of. They're a special group. As I said last week, if you know, Larry will assign an intern to do a case study and just track these guys for 20 years. You the intern? All right. Report back in 20 years. I don't know where I'll be, but I'd like an update. This group of people, they're going to dominate in life. I know it. I can't wait to see what they're going to do. They're going to dominate in life because I've seen their engine. I've seen their heart. I know how they're built. And, man, they are equipped for whatever. They're going to be great husbands. They're going to be great fathers. It's a special group. So, you know, may not be a sexy task to take on, but if somebody tracks that group and reports back and does a little study on it, Swinney said 20 years ago to follow these guys, I mean, these are going to be some dudes now. This is going to be some game changers, difference makers in society. And I can't wait to watch them. Speaking of difference makers, in the locker room, we had Gary Peters and Chase Bryce in there dancing with us in the locker room. So that was awesome. I think he's like maybe the highest paid DB in Canada. He's been playing since, 2013. He's still playing. He and Chase, I think, came in, just finished their seasons and came in for the game. And, fun to see those guys in the locker room as well.
How much fire are you expecting to see over the next week and motivation from this group to go into Columbia and, as Cade said, flip the script? Yeah,
it's the state championship. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're 12-0 or 11-0 or 0-11. This game is, it means a lot to a lot of people. It's a forever game. You know, there might be some games along the way you'll say, well, what happened in that game? And somebody will be like, yeah, I don't really remember. But you remember this one. All right, everybody lives with this one. This is one of those games. I mean, you don't have to say a whole lot this week. Everybody knows, you know, what's at stake, and both teams want the same thing, and you got to play well. You don't really have to do anything different. The same things win a rivalry game that win any game. It's turnover margin, it's big plays, it's, you know, being a disciplined team, it's having good special teams play, it's winning in the trenches, it's finishing in the red zone, it's playing with amazing uncommon effort. I mean, it's the same things. You know, it'll be fun. It's always exciting to be a part of this game. 13 Alabama-Auburn games, and this is my 23rd Clemson-South Carolina game. So whatever that is, was that 36? Is my 36th rivalry game, you know, of just like, you know, it means a lot to a lot of people. And I look forward to the challenge this week. We'll have a great week of preparation and go down there and give it all we got.
Antonio pretty much confirmed after the game that he's not going to come back next year. He told us. I mean, has he had that conversation?
Oh, yeah, he's definitely gone. He's graduating. Unless you can talk him into coming back. I mean, I guess he's got another year. I think he's got another year, but no, he's ready. He's ready. He's ready. Somebody going to get a great one. He's as good as we've ever had. He's different than some of the guys. He's different than Sammy. He's different than Mike. He's different than Nuke. He's different than T. He's different than Hunter. He's different than, you know, a lot of these great ones we've had, but he's as good as any of them. He's a special player. He is a complete player and going to be a great pro. And I'm really proud of him. I've really enjoyed coaching him, challenging him, teaching him, encouraging him. You know, he'd probably tell you I was really, really hard on him early in his career, really hard. But I also knew what he could be, and that's my job is to push him to become the best version of him. That's what I'm supposed to do. But he has to decide if he's going to accept the challenge and buy in, and boy did he. I mean, he's become an amazing leader. I saw his mom and dad out there today, and just it was great to be able to hug their neck, and they're so proud of him. His grandmother, I see her she comes to about every practice. She lives in Greenville, and she brings her chair and sits at practice all the time, and she's his biggest fan. I'm gonna miss her. She comes up and listens to my talk after practice, every practice almost. So I just love his family, but that kid he's special player, special. That catch he made. Kind of wrong shoulder, you know, being able to keep his balance, his control, awareness of where the pylon and goal line was. That's a big-time play. That was not an easy play, but he makes it look easy, and that's what those great ones do. So he won't wait long to hear his name called. He'll be one of them early guys that'll get his name called and go do great things. He'll have a great career.
You scored in the final minute. What was the philosophy there, just keeping guys on the field, Denson and everybody?
We just let them play. I mean, you don't know if they're going to score. I mean, they can tackle you. We just call it a run play. So just trying to let those guys play. That's it. You know, those guys need to play. They practice, and you got your fourth quarterback in there, and you know, he needs to play every rep. So it was good to see and fun to see him find a way to get in the end zone on that last one.
Coach, in terms of the secondary and the safeties, have you seen an improvement in them since the Duke game?
Absolutely. A big improvement. Yeah, they've done, there's been Tom's done a good job in just some things as far as kind of their meetings and stuff that I think's helped them from a just communication standpoint on all of them. And they've made a lot of nice plays. But, you know, Ashton and AV have been really, really solid. I think they've had about 4 good games in a row. They're playing some good football for us. You know, Khalil had a couple good plays today. Ricardo, Ronan had a nice play. I think he had a big TFL at one point. And again, we got to play a lot of guys, so not a lot of bus. Not a lot of bus. You know, we had a couple games in a row where we had some massive bus. in the game. You know, you play 50 plays great, but then you have 3 horrible plays, but they they cost you. So they've been much better.
Coach, where does Chris Denson's progression stack up to other first-year QBs you've coached in the past?
You know, I mean, from a physical standpoint, he's progressed great, you know, because he was a kind of a lean, slender guy coming in here. And so he's worked his butt off in the weight room from where he first got here. And look at him physically, you know, his lower body development and his upper body. He's really improved physically. And then he's kind of been Taj's project. You know, Taj has really kind of had his hands on him every day. They work. You know, they do a lot of post-practice stuff. I mean, the kid's a grinder. I mean, he's a very committed guy. He's a natural leader. That's been fun to see. You know, he's just it's not something that he has to work at. I mean, he is just a natural leader. He's got a great presence to him, a great demeanor. And so it's been fun to see his confidence grow. He's one of those guys, like early on, it's one of the qualities I liked about him early on. I knew he didn't really know what was going on early, but you would never sense that with him. You know, he's just like that all the time. You know, he's like the duck on the water, and the feet make, but you don't see that with him. He's just like that, and that's a great quality to have as a quarterback. But he's a very smart kid. He's a high football IQ guy. He really understands. You know, and even though he hasn't been playing, he's redshirt, and he's really learned a lot mentally. Like, again, it's stuff that you don't see. Like he knows how to, you know, ask questions. He knows how to watch tape. He knows, you know, he's taken a lot of ownership of learning from Cade and those guys in the corrections at practice or corrections at in the game. He's been back and forth. You know, he's gotten a lot of work on the scout team because he's just getting reps. And then, you know, when he's come over and got some reps with us, he's done a good job there. The last, you know, 3 or 4 weeks, I give a lot of, we've done a lot of scrimmage work on Tuesdays, you know, so a lot of live scrimmage with our pride group. And so he's gotten a lot of live scrimmage work where he's live. You know, he's the only quarterback we've made live because it's kind of his gift, right? And it's just, you almost do him a disservice when he's not live. And so, you know, and again, if we couldn't do that if he was the starter or the second team guy, but in the role he's in and redshirting, you know, we've really kind of forced the issue with him to develop throughout the season because he's gotten, again, a lot of live scrimmage work. That's kind of been his game, has been Tuesdays. And then he's been getting some 2-minute work on Wednesdays. So it's been good. I've seen a lot of growth, a lot of progression, and he's really worked on his throwing mechanics, his lower body transition, a lot of those things. So he's made a lot of improvement and should be a fun spring. You know, it should be a fun spring. You know, CV and him and you got a couple good signees about to roll in here in a couple weeks that we're really excited about. And then you always got Trent. You know, he's like the old Sooner dog laying on the porch, man. You just throw a little food out there and he's ready to go. You ain't got to worry about Pierman. He's always ready.
I imagine having Denson this week pretty valuable for prepping for Sellars.
Absolutely. You know, because as y'all saw, he can give a look, and he's done that, you know, a couple times this year for us. So definitely be a part of our prep.
Speaking to Cade earlier, you talked about how special it is to see these younger players experience their first big plays. How do you see the support and mentorship not only in the games but like in practice?
I think that's one of the cool qualities of our team. It's a selfless team. In fact, I had a young man named we call him TC. His name's Tyler Connor. You know, he's a walk-on kid on the roster that, you know, knows his role, works his butt off in his role. He's a very selfless kid, scout teamer. And, you know, he came up to me after and he was like, Coach, I really want to recognize Tristan Lee because, you know, he was fighting for me to get in the game. He was over there really fighting for me to get in the game. And I just think that's who we are as a team. We got a lot of selfless guys, and you know they all care about each other, and they look out for each other, and they celebrate each other. So I think that's a cool thing, and that's always one of the fun things in a game like this when you do get a chance to play a lot of guys is seeing the guys who play a lot, you know, really be able to get on the sideline and support their teammates. Whether it's quarterbacks, running backs, OL. I mean, we got big Cardoni out there, and he's 6'9". That poor DN's probably like, who the heck's this guy? You take Blake Miller out, you take Ian out, and here comes 6'9" Cardoni out there. So it's just fun to see the team excited to see guys get in there and get an opportunity to play. Tristan Martinez, I think he got a catch. The kid's from 4,800 miles away. He's from Hawaii, Honolulu. And, to see him get a catch on senior day is really cool. Zach Jackson, Banks Pope and Chef. Man, Chef got in the positive out there today. So it's just fun to see all those guys and see the team be excited for them to get out there and make some plays. Fletcher Cothran's not a senior, but to see him go out there and make a big TFL, that was awesome.
You touched on Joey Batson, but almost 30 years here at Clemson. What has he meant to this program?
Well, I'm not here without Joey Batson, and that's one of those decisions. I've made a lot of good decisions, but I've made some bad ones too. But I think I've made more good than bad. But when I got the job, probably the most hated person in this program, other than me, or the most unpopular person other than me, was Joey Batson. I can't tell you how much bad emails I got and letters I got. That was back when I actually read that stuff. I didn't know any different when I first got the job. I actually read my mail, and now I don't read none of that. So if I read it, it's because somebody's saying something nice. We love you, Coach. All this stuff. So all these people that take all this time to write all this bad stuff to me, I don't read it. So, but hopefully it make you feel better. It was. You got to fire Joey Batson. You got to get rid of Joey Batson. They're never going to win with Joey Batson. You're never going to do this and that. But I had watched Joey Batson for 6 years, and I knew who he was. Joey Batson wasn't the problem. He wasn't the problem. What are we? We're second in wins or third in wins in the past 17 years, since I've been a head coach. I guess Alabama and Clemson. We've won a lot of games, and, people say we don't play nobody. Well, we're 3-1 against Ohio State and 4-2 against Notre Dame, and we've beaten Coach Saban in Alabama in 2 out of 3 national championships, and we lost one 45-40. We've won a lot of big games and a bunch of big moments along the way. That doesn't happen if you don't have a captain down in that engine room that knows what he's doing and is elite at what he does. So I wouldn't be here. Joey Batson has been amazing, and he's so loyal. He listens. He'll take my message, and that message will go for me. And he will instill it into the team. And you just can't be successful as a head football coach if you don't have that type of relationship with your strength coach. And so I just am forever grateful for him. I'm really sad that, it's that role for him is coming to an end. I'm super excited about D-Love. He's going to be amazing. But 29 years, that's a long time. And so it was cool to be able to celebrate that. But to answer your question, I'd probably been gone a long time ago without Joey Batson. He doesn't get near the credit that he deserves, the toughness, the physicality, the belief, all right, the grit, the heart, just the unshakable can-do attitude, all of that stuff. Man, that's your offseason. You can just check our record since I've been a head coach, our record with a lead into the fourth quarter. We lead the nation in one-score games since 2011. We lead the nation. You don't win close games. You don't finish games in the fourth quarter like we've done without having a strength coach that helps instill that. So I could go on and on and on about Joey Batson. And that's one decision that I look back on, and I'm thankful that that I have a Savior, and that the Holy Spirit inside of me that guides me, and I'm thankful that I listened to him and went with what I believe was right, and especially at a time where I didn't really have much room for error. I really didn't. So, man, I'm not here without Joey Batson.
We can take one more for Coach if anybody has one.
First snap of the game, did that go off Linthicum's ankle or?
He just slipped it. I mean, slipped it. It slipped out of his hand.
'Cause he-
At first I was like, what the heck? Did he think he was under center? He's like snapped it in his butt. I didn't know what, but it just slipped. Ball slipped out of his hand. I didn't know until when he came over there. I'm like, he goes, it just slipped out of my hand. I went, okay. Well.
I thought you were trying to get him a carry or something.
No, it was his first career, senior day. I think that might be exactly what happened. He probably said, first play, it's going to be a long game. Let me just snap it to myself, and I'll get my first career yard. Did he get a yard?
He did.
He got a yard?
It was 0 yards.
It's probably exactly what happened. He has dreamed this up in his thing, and it's one of them. Nobody will know. I'll just say it slipped, and I'll pick it right up. That would be a classic Linthicum deal. I don't even think he's had any bad snaps. Like, in 2 years, I think he's been money. So that's probably exactly what happened.
Officially a team rush for no yards.
Team rush. I'll give him a yard.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.